Explain Harsha's Empire, 606 CE to 647 CE. Harsha's Empire, also known as the Vardhana dynasty, was a North Indian empire that existed from 606 CE to 647 CE. It was founded by Harshavardhana, who was a member of the Pushyabhuti dynasty. The empire was centered in the region that is now modern-day northern India and included present-day states such as Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Punjab, and Haryana. During Harsha's reign, the empire saw a period of significant economic growth and cultural development. He was a patron of the arts and supported a number of scholars and artists. The empire was known for its extensive trade network and its role as a hub for the exchange of goods and ideas between East and West Asia. Harsha was also known for his military campaigns, which allowed him to expand the empire's territory. He was particularly successful in his campaigns against the neighboring kingdom of Kannauj, which he eventually annexed into his empire. Harsha was a devout Buddhist and is credited with sponsoring the famous Buddhist philosopher, Xuanzang, to travel to India and study Buddhism. He also hosted a famous assembly of scholars and religious leaders known as the Kannauj Assembly, in which various religious traditions were represented. After Harsha's death in 647 CE, the empire rapidly declined and was eventually absorbed into the growing power of the Islamic Caliphate in the region. Nevertheless, Harsha's reign is remembered as a period of significant cultural and economic growth in India, and he is regarded as one of the most important rulers in Indian history. What are the major incidents of Harsha's empire, 606 CE to 647 CE? There were several major incidents during Harsha's empire, 606 CE to 647 CE, that had a significant impact on the history and culture of India. Here are some of the most notable incidents. Ascension to the throne. Harsha ascended to the throne in 606 CE, after the death of his brother Rajyavardhana, who was assassinated. Harsha was initially only the king of Thanesar, but he went on to conquer neighboring kingdoms and expanded his rule to cover much of northern India. Military campaigns. Harsha was a successful military commander, and he engaged in several campaigns to expand his empire. Some of his most notable conquests were the kingdoms of Kannauj, Gujarat, Malwa, and Bengal. Patron of the arts. Harsha was known for his patronage of the arts and literature. He sponsored several scholars, including the famous Chinese Buddhist monk Xuanzang, who traveled to India during Harsha's reign and studied Buddhism. Kannauj Assembly. Harsha organized the Kannauj Assembly in 643 CE, which was a gathering of scholars and religious leaders from different parts of India. The assembly was an opportunity for people to exchange ideas and discuss important issues related to religion and culture. Decline of the empire. After Harsha's death in 647 CE, the empire began to decline rapidly. His successors were unable to maintain his achievements, and the empire eventually fell apart. Overall, Harsha's reign was a period of significant cultural, political, and military developments in India, and he is remembered as one of the most important rulers in Indian history. Important dates of Harsha's empire, 606 CE to 647 CE. Here are some of the important dates associated with Harsha's empire, 606 CE to 647 CE. 606 CE, Harsha ascended to the throne of Thanesar after the death of his brother Rajyavardhana. 612 CE, Harsha defeated Sasanka, the ruler of Gauda, present-day West Bengal, and expanded his empire to cover most of northern India. 629 CE, Harsha organized a grand assembly at Prayag, modern-day Allahabad, to celebrate his victory over the Chalukya dynasty. 643 CE, Harsha organized the famous Kannauj Assembly, a gathering of scholars and religious leaders from different parts of India. 647 CE, Harsha died, and his empire rapidly declined after his death. These dates are just some of the important events associated with Harsha's empire, and there were many other significant developments that took place during this time period. What are the modes of currency in Harsha's empire, 606 CE to 647 CE? During the time of Harsha's empire, 606 CE to 647 CE, various modes of currency were used for trade and commerce. Here are some of the main modes of currency that were prevalent during this period. Gold coins. Gold coins were commonly used for large transactions, and they were known as dinaras. These coins were of Persian origin, and they were stamped with the images of emperors, gods, and goddesses. Silver coins. Silver coins were also used as a medium of exchange, and they were known as rupees. These coins were stamped with various images, including elephants, horses, and peacocks. Copper coins. Copper coins were the most common form of currency and were used for everyday transactions. These coins were known as karshapanas and were stamped with various images, including deities and animals. Barter. Barter was also a prevalent mode of exchange during this time period, particularly in rural areas. Goods such as grains, textiles, and livestock were used in exchange for other goods and services. Overall, the currency system during Harsha's empire was complex and varied, with different modes of exchange being used for different types of transactions. Why did Harsha's empire, 606 CE to 647 CE, collapse? The collapse of Harsha's empire, 606 CE to 647 CE, was a gradual process, and there were several factors that contributed to its decline. Here are some of the key reasons why the empire collapsed. Succession struggles. After Harsha's death in 647 CE, his empire was divided among his sons, and they struggled to maintain unity. This led to a series of conflicts and weakened the empire. Invasions by external forces. After Harsha's death, the empire was invaded by external forces, including the Arabs and the Huns. These invasions weakened the empire and made it vulnerable to further attacks. Weak rulers. The rulers who succeeded Harsha were unable to match his achievements, and they were not as effective in governing the empire. This led to a decline in the economy, military, and infrastructure of the empire. Regionalism. The regional forces within the empire grew stronger over time, and the local rulers began to assert their independence. This weakened the central authority of the empire and made it difficult to maintain unity. Overall, the decline of Harsha's empire was a result of a combination of factors, including weak rulers, internal conflicts, external invasions, and the rise of regionalism. Despite its decline, Harsha's empire was an important period in Indian history, and it left a lasting impact on the culture, literature, and art of the region. For more videos, stay tuned with us.